In OpenShot, let's first get started with the OpenShot files that you used in your last project. So put the video, audio, clouds, Minecraft, and Moon files into a new project, and let's get started with those. You remember have multiple options. You can drag them over from your Windows Explorer or Mac Finder, or you can click plus and select them. So get those in there first. Once you have the files in there, go ahead and drag the audio down to one of your lower tracks and put your clouds file in there, your video file in there, Minecraft and Moon. We're not going to worry about transitions at this time. I'm going to show you how to add title. So go ahead and drag the 4 image and video files in above the audio track. Okay, so one of the first things I want to show you is a few tricks that will help you with navigation. In between your panels, you have these dots. If you hover your mouse on those dots, you can slide them around to decrease and increase some of the panel sizes. So you can do that between the panels at the top or at the bottom. You also have this view option up here in your menu. If you click view and you click views, you can always go back to the simple view. That'll always return your screen if you've accidentally closed down one of the panels and you don't know how you've done that or where it's gone, what's different, how you pulled something out. Just go back to view, views, and click simple view, and that will always return you. Then in the timeline here where you see this blue highlight, if you drag this controller here, it will change the size of things on your timeline. You can also move your timeline up and down to see the different tracks. And for tracks that you aren't using, you can always right-click on the track and remove the track. I recommend that you keep about 4 tracks in there whenever you're working. That'll help you overlap videos and split tracks, split the audio out of tracks when you're editing. So those are just a couple of housekeeping things that will help you with that. You also want to make sure to always start out by saving your project and giving it a name. We're going to call this one Title Project, and I'm going to put my name on it so that if other people are using the same computer, I'll know which one is mine. So always save your projects. I recommend that you go and select the desktop as the location where you're going to save these so that you can easily get to them, and click save. So next we're going to add some titles to this project. In the menu bar at the top, you have title, and if you click on that, you have 2 options, title and animated title. We're going to work with titles first, so click on title, and in the window that opens up, you'll see that you've got several templates that you can use. The templates will create different options or different types of titles for your project. We're going to focus on a couple of these. The camera border title does a nice title that has these little frames on the side. The footer titles will actually put text on the bottom of your screen, either on the bottom left, center, or right. But I really like the gray box bars. This is a really nice way to add in your upper thirds or your lower thirds. There are a few customizations you can make to these titles, but if they have 1 line in the title, that's how many lines are going to be there. If they have 2 lines, that's how many lines are going to be there. So if you wanted to put a lower third title on the right, something that you might use to say who is in the screen, someone that you've interviewed, you select the title that you want to use. So I'm using gray box 4 here, and in line 1 I'm going to change the text. I'm going to put my name in. And then in line 2, I'm going to put maybe something about who I am. I'll have AVP teacher in here. I can also change the font, but if I change the font, just know that you're going to have to play with the font size. If I change the font, I'd have to change the font size. So if I chose like this Aharoni, this size 12 will never work. So I'm probably going to have to pick something like size 96, but you can always play with the sizes. And then you can also change your text color. So if I want to maybe choose a gold that is Huckabee color, then I can choose that color. I'm not going to change the background color because the background color isn't black in this instance. It's actually transparent. So I want to leave the background transparent so that it actually shows over the image. So I've added my text in line 1 and line 2. I've changed my font and my text color, and I'm just going to click Save. That's going to place the title into the project files. So here I am still on project files, the files we already have, and here's my title. I can drag my title now down to one of my tracks. You'll see if you move the marker for the timeline, you'll see that that now shows above the cloud's image where I've placed it. And if I drag that marker all the way over the video, it goes away. So I've placed that title above clouds. I can extend it out by dragging it over as far as I need to. So I can have that title play as long as I want in that particular part of the film. I can also apply transitions to this. So just like you apply transitions to the actual film pieces, you can also transition in your titles, and you can transition out your titles. So this would allow you to, if you're doing a video with an interview and you've got someone on the screen, you haven't maybe introduced them, you can now actually place the title over their interview clip in your timeline. On this transition on the right, this is just another little helpful hint. If you notice that the transition doesn't animate correctly, so this one is supposed to be a fade, but it goes away and then fades back in. Well, this is a fade at the end of the timeline. So what I'm going to do is right click on that and reverse that transition. So now instead of fading in, it's going to fade out. So this first title that I've put in has done a lower third. It's put in text, and if I play this from the beginning, you'll see the title fade in, and I'm just going to go ahead and slide over and then play from over here. You'll see the title also fade out. And that's how you do a title with a fade in, fade out transition for a lower third. Another type of title that you may want to add to your project, and I'd like for you to do that as part of this training, is scrolling credit. So if you click title, and I'm going to select, for purposes of this, the gold 2. Again, you can always change the font and the text color, but I'm simply going to put in my line 1 and line 2 and click Save. And I'm going to go ahead and do a second one, so I'll have both of them ready. So I'm doing one that says directed by, I'm doing one that says starring. And now I have both of these added to the project files. So I'm going to drag the first one down on to the timeline in track 3. And then I'm going to drag the second one to the timeline in track 4, just to maybe about a second after this one. So I'm going to click the first one. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hover over animate. I'm going to hover over entire clip, and I'm going to hover over edge to edge, and I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. Okay, doing the same thing on the second one. I'm going to click it, I'm going to right click, select animate, hover over entire clip, hover over edge to edge, and select bottom to top. Now when you play this, you will see the animation scroll up the screen. And you can do this with as many titles as you need to. You can add additional tracks and stack them on top of each other in order to have all the credits running that you need at the end of your production. So for purposes of this tutorial and this assignment, when you turn this in, you'll have your audio track. On track 1, you'll have your track 2 that'll have the 4 image and video assets that we included, and you'll have track 3 and 4 that will have the title tracks that we've created.